So the randomizer is the same one that was used for the entire league, which is a major minor split, but there's been some logic changes where previously the progression speed would be fixed for the seed, and they would have to kind of diagnose whether they're on a fast seed, a slow seed, or whatever else. Now, it's randomized after each piece of progression is placed, so it's a lot less predictable what's going on here in the playoffs. But these runners both know how to handle it, and Slaughter's already into the climb, not choosing a moonfall, and neither is azder, so both runners keeping appropriate falling speed.
Yes, it's a little surprising, but yeah, moonfall not too big of a deal, or even the moonwalk. Honestly, I think as they're uh, suspiciously at the 9 seed, I think he's much better than that, in my opinion. So right away we get the ice beam, and this is a really good beam to have. Yeah, what do you think about it, my Michael?
I mean, Ice Beam can be a little obnoxious early just because All right, let's see if maybe we are back. I think we just got things sorted out. Unfortunately, we've not been able to commentate too much lately. Can you hear me, JD?
Oh, I can hear you. How we're doing?
Oh, we're doing great. The seed has been super exciting, and I've been yelling at my computer and my microphone about how exciting it is. And unfortunately, none of y'all got to hear any of the awesome commentary. It was the best commentary of all time.
Yeah,
I assure you, JD and I were both killing it.
Yeah, I was losing my mind over here over everything these guys have found. They have the Varia suit, they have the Ice Beam, they have the Plasma Beam, and you know,
yeah, they got that.
Just cruising along. Go right.
Yeah, they got Speed Booster, and azder is headed for the wrecked ship, which that's a gutsy play given early Varia.
Yeah, so there's two ways this can play out. So Sloaters obviously going down the red tower. We have azder going into the wreck ship. If like whoever finds like, well, I mean, this is interesting because like they could be checking a lot of major items. You know, azder in the wreck ship, Sloaters in Warfare. I don't know exactly what they'll be looking for, but azder seems to be very comfortable going for these minor item checks as well.
Yeah, I mean, without charge, and with a good abundance of supers already, it can be a really nice decision to just scout some quick miners looking for really extra super packs, just in case that charge beam ends up buried really, really deeply, like if it's at Shack Tool or Plasma or somewhere that you really just don't want to go check.
Nice quick kill from Sloaters. And a nice little speed ball there from azder. Both players taking on their first bosses. So we see the X-ray scope. That is actually pretty good if the players can find charge beam. It will make them go pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's good for obviously the so-called microwave strats, but also could be a potential movement item if Suitless Meridia comes into play. And you know, I guess that if Sloaters is stuck on, say, 2 power bomb packs and can't do a Crystal Flash Dragon or something.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, looks like azder getting another mid pattern. No fast pattern for him, so he's going to be
probably slow here.
Yeah. All right, so that I believe is our first reserve tank sighting of the seed. These guys have been very fortunate.
There was one at Spazer. There was one at Spazer, so that's at least our second. I don't know. I think that's only 2, though. The seed has definitely been really generous with the item distribution so far, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff that I've missed as we were fighting to try and get the commentary back live again. But nice fight overall from azder, taking care of Fantoon. So each runner with 1 boss down now. Ultimately, this the result of this game could very easily come down to whether azder finds something here at Wrecked Ship or not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, so we say something, but really, in my mind, I'm saying, you know, the gravity suit. Yeah. You know, maybe even the high jump boots. Like the players, they might be forced to do Suitless Meridia. If the high jump boots are here, that gives azder a pretty good advantage.
Yeah, and there's our 3rd reserve at Ice, and just an E-Tank at the first major here in Wrecked Ship, but there are 3 more to check, and I'm sure we'll see those checks from azder. Well, I don't know about the upper ones, but at least 1 more I think we'll probably see. Yeah, this one, after being really generous early, has really kind of throttled down and not been giving up a lot lately. So It's possible that we rolled into a slower progression here from variable. And so it might be that our next item is buried pretty deep.
Yeah. So we get the space jump. Space jump is great for the worst room in the game. This is really like the one room I think of where players, without high jump boots, will really love having it.
Yeah, it's really good there. There are some minor checks like sky missiles and things that get a lot easier with it. But now that they have speed, there's not a whole lot of places that speed wouldn't accomplish the same things as space jump, and worst room is really the sort of the most evident one. There's our 4th reserve tank.
All right, so all reserve tanks spotted. Sloater's gonna be checking the Norfair Reserve.
It can't be a reserve tank.
Yeah, it just has to navigate through this this lava there, this energy tank. Now, azder is actually looks like he's gonna go.
Yeah, and this doesn't surprise me. This is something that azder will do in a reasonable number of situations. It's not a bad skip, honestly. But we know that so far, Norfair has been coming up pretty empty, so upper wrecked ship might be where the item that we're supposed to get is. They do have logical access, of course, with speed and space jumps, so... I mean, it's possible to full clear wrecked ship, speed making that reserve location accessible.
Yeah, that worries me. With the 2 major items up there, but I can't fault him for doing this. Like azder, he always seems to. I'm like seeing the spring ball. The spring ball. Well, actually, I was gonna say give them some extra jumping height in Pseudolis Meridia, but back to azder. Like he sometimes takes these interesting strategies with the randomizer, and more often than not, I would say it pays off for him more than it does for me anyway.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where it's looking like it might not, but I mean, these are definitely calculated plays. It's not like this is a mistake or anything. This is what he intended based on what he's found. So I think it's good. And Sloater's finding spring ball. That is a scary spring ball. That spring ball could be a key part of Suitless Meridia.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Which, with all these E-tanks and reserve tanks and non-progression items showing up, it might be looking like that's where we're headed. Really, it looks like Sloaters is going for the high jumpless lava dive before going for Ranomizer, which makes sense. He will have the option to go to Croc on the way back out from Lower Norfair, and Croc could just be something like high jump boots that ends up being entirely optional. And for all Sloaters knows, it could be up in wrecked ship. For all we know, it could be up in wrecked ship, and that's not worth doing. So I like this play by Sloaters to just go right to Lower Norfair.
Yeah, not to mention that this lava dive is no walk in the park without the high jump boots. Looks like he's gonna try again with the bounce ball. He wants a specific sort of jump. Doesn't quite get it there, but looks like he's just gonna move on. Again, with the fairy suit, you just it gives you such an advantage. So he wants to manipulate this fireball. Take some damage. He can wall jump off those spikes after taking damage using the iframes, and He made it look like a walk in the park, honestly. So pretty good job by Sloaters. What a god gamer.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean high jumpless lava dive, and you described pretty much what he was doing frame for frame. He did have a little bit of trouble getting his bounce ball in, so had to pay a little bit more in energy while he was in the lava. But because in the randomizer that drain is slowed down just a little bit, it's a lot less critical to get that bounce ball in randomizer than it would be in, say, a GT Classic run. And looks like he's gonna green gate glitch on over to check the screw attack location, a good backdoor way of getting to the Gold Torizo area without having to fight Gold Torizo. And also, those Ripper 2s here are really good for refilling super missiles, which he's only got 15 max. So that's a little bit dicey for the Ridley fight coming up, but let's see what he finds on his way there.
Yeah, this is also a really nice energy tank pickup as well. The enemies here in Lower Norfair, you're gonna actually take a whole 100 energy if he runs into any of these gold pirates or the red Kai hunters. So needs to be a little careful.
Even the Tuskigas hit really hard. The Nanahe and Fune flames aren't friendly. Like, everything in Lower Norfair hurts.
Yeah.
This manipulation of these pirates in Worst Room, really, really good by Sloaters. That was excellent.
Yeah, he only takes one hit there. Taking a second one, but energy should be good. Looks like he wants to start checking some minor items. Yeah, if he wants to fight, if he's intending to fight Ridley, he's gonna be wanting a lot more of this ammo. This is okay. So Sloaters, he's being extra careful there because the blocks there on the right below him are crumble blocks. So if he falls through there, it's going to be a bad situation. So good on him to be, a little extra cautious exiting that room.
And for a moment, I thought we might have seen azder headed for Ranomizer, but he's just going to blow right on by, and looks like he's headed to Bubble Mountain first. I'm curious whether we'll see him end up at Ranomizer or not.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a teaser there. I really thought he was going to go.
And Firefleas is just an E-Tank, so the Suitless Meridia Dream is still alive.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's not really a dream for the runners, but, for those of us who like to watch people suffer, that could be part of the dream, or just enjoy esoteric randomizer situations that you don't see every day in other Super Metroid. And azder is discovering the wealth of tanks available at the Bubble Mountain area, and I'm sure is feeling a little worse about that upper wrecked ship skip. And ooh, that's a nice super pack there at PB's a shame for Sloaters. That's going to help a lot for the Ridley fight.
Yeah, that was like the last minor item he could have got on his way over to Ridley. So for it to be a super missile, that's going to help him greatly. Alright, Sloaters using the speed echoes, take care of these metal pirates. Looks like he's just placed a little too far to the right for the second one, but cleans it up with his supers. azder collecting his spring ball. I imagine he is also going to be checking wave, and then he has some decisions open to him.
Yeah, this is a really tough call for azder, I think. Just because of that upper wrecked ship skip. It could be Croc, it could be upper wrecked ship. It could end up being in Meridia. but it's possible that the item that it is just high jump boots, so we might see him end up in Lower Norfair as well. I would think that that would be an entirely defensible play to make.
All right.
And all
Keep
right,
an eye on,
Sloaters.
keep an eye on Sloaters. He needs a lot of this ammo to go into Ridley, especially these super missiles.
All right, so we're already down to needing at least one power bomb hit. He has 12 power bombs worth to spare, which is 4,800 extra damage if he gets all the double hits. So he's not in crisis mode yet. He has missed 200 so far. But yeah, these supers are the things that are critical. So we're watching him be extra careful.
Oh, that's one miss.
That's just a power bomb, or 2 power bomb double hits. So he's still good. He's got 10 power bombs to spare. He will need 2 power bombs though.
He needs to be careful when he lays these power bombs too, because really gets very tenacious with how he comes down.
Wow,
but it looks like he's got it. Wow, I was worried there. I was worried there when he got grabbed because I wasn't really entirely sure that Ridley had been defeated. But all is good.
I wasn't sure if one of those double hits happened or not. But he got 1 double hit and 2 singles.
So azder, while that boss fight was going on, has journeyed over to Ranomizer.
Yeah, chat's on top of it. Chat knows we're at Ranomizer. Oh, do they ever. And Sloaters knows that these various enemies here on your way over to the Metal Pirates room have pretty good drops, picking up a super, some big health. Definitely some good stuff for the Lower Norfair escape, but with Screw Attack being at Ridley, that escape is a lot less dangerous than it otherwise would have been. That was a pretty nice item to find at Ridley.
Yeah, definitely can afford Sloaters to gain some time here without having to farm up too much energy or anything like that, just because he has the Screw Attack now.
Yeah, we've got one more major to check down here at Ranomizer at the grappling beam location for azder before we're starting to really look at Gauntlet and Upper Wreck Ship as a real possibility, and ooh, just an E-Tank for azder.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think Sloaters goes to check Ranomizer now that he's leaving Lower Norfair?
I think he will. Without having found anything in Lower Norfair, it's basically a 50-50, and Ranomizer's just so much closer than the wrecked ship stuff. It just makes a lot of sense. I would be very surprised to see Sloaters skip Croc.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, because azder, he might be getting a little desperate here. He might go out and backtrack a little bit. And I know he didn't check the X-ray scope on the way down, so he might be intending to look around a bit more before he goes into Lower Norfair. And he's going to take the elevator up.
Yeah, unfortunately for azder, I think he may just have to like really double down on the upper wrecked ship skip, just because the time it takes to travel back up there means that he pretty much can't afford to do that and win if like anything short of a complete disaster happened to Sloaters. So I think he may just need to stay committed to that play, which now is starting to look like a worse and worse play, unfortunately, but it was a very reasonable play to make in the situation azder was in.
There is also the Gauntlet area, so we'll see. We see azder open it up. Yeah,
High jump
it's
boot
right here.
gauntlet and then like grapple mama turtle would not shock me at all right now.
Oh no, as they're getting tagged by those flying enemies.
Yeah, those waivers in the X-ray room are just jerks. They will snipe you out of bomb jumps or space jumps or really anything they can. And now with 100% more audio, we get the Ranomizer. So, double croc. Chat's loving it. And Sloaters is not going to be loving it. He's going to find 2 tanks down here, which is pretty meh. So for as promising of a start, like I was saying, I don't know if y'all heard me when I was saying it, but I was talking about how the variable progression speed changes between items. So you can just end up getting trolled at any given point. And it looks like that's what we've run into here in this seed. Yeah, and azder passing on Spazer there, I mean, it makes sense because he has plasma, but if we do end up Suitless Meridia, a lot of people do like Ice Spazer just for doing Suitless Meridia, so...
Yeah, that is true.
It looks like azder is going to head back for Upper Wrecked Ship. This surprises me to see before Gauntlet, but I think it's mostly just because Gauntlet cannot be Gravity Suit.
Right, yeah. I mean, for all we know, it could just be some energy tanks up here as well. But we're led to believe that it's not. That it could be something substantial.
There must be something here or at Gauntlet.
Yeah.
There are no other options.
That's true, yeah.
I don't think high jumpless spring ball jump plus ice is in Suitless Meridia logic for this. For Mama Turtle. I think you do need high jump boots plus spring ball to do iceless. Which I learned in one of my league matches. I'd never had that come up before, but once you check all the locations and you go, well, I guess this is what I gotta do. So we'll see if it's one of those, but I'm pretty sure it's progression here somewhere in Wreck Ship or Gauntlet. And while we have a little bit of a lull here and get the anticipation of bowling, I wanted to take a moment to shout out our MVP tracker, Cheaty Face, who's going to be tracking all our games this evening and also has tracked most of the quarterfinals matches so far in this Ranomizer League. Dude has been putting in a ton of work, so much love to Cheaty Face. Go throw him some support. He's also a rando runner. I think almost made the playoffs in this league, and so definitely worth the follow.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought league. There were a lot of good players.
Yeah,
there are a lot of players. A lot of games, a lot of matches that were played. So
yeah, any player who made the playoffs had to make it through 18 weeks of league play, and so you get 18 rounds to decide the top 16 among 60-some players, and you end up with really a great assortment of players, whereas with like a normal tournament, you can end up with, you know, some players getting left out who really should be in, but then some players in who maybe probably shouldn't be, in a sense, just who kind of hit some good matchups. That's not the case with this league. You just had so much play that everyone who got in really earned it, and there were a lot of players left on the outside who were very, very worthy of being in. But looks like we're headed for Gauntlet, because Wave Beam, not it. Looks like we are looking at High Jump Boots Gauntlet into Suitless Meridia.
Yeah, I think so. And in all honesty, this does not help azder gain an advantage over sloaters, in my opinion. if anything, it's putting him further behind because he's checked more of the things. Sloaters has a boss advantage. He's already taken down Ridley, and yeah, Sloaters now coming into the wreck ship. He's gonna be able to fight Van Toon.
Yeah, Sloaters is gonna full clear this wrecked ship unless unless something goes really, really strangely. He's gonna full clear it, and then he's gonna end up at Gauntlet just like Azder's going to. He's going to be up the lower Norfair and know that it has to be Meridia, whereas Azder, if it, with high jump boots here, it could be lower Norfair for him, but it is kind of going to equalize the runners in that they're both going to have to do all of the crappy things.
Yeah.
And Azder looks to be on a really good pace, checking all these in only FF720 so far. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's got to be a good pace for a seed like this.
Alright, so there's the high jump boots.
And we'll see if Azder... nice short charge there, by the way, on the Gauntlet exit. That is not an easy short charge. And that was a killer Doppler from Sloaters. Really, really close. So yeah, we're looking at Mama Turtle Grapple off of High Jump Boots Gauntlet. But Azder could be thinking that the grappling beam is in lower Norfair. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him go lower Norfair first, but we might see him make the wild gamble feeling behind, just given the way Wreck Ship turned out. Unless I'm thinking about it wrong, yeah, it'll never force you to crab climb, so gravity or grapple has to be Mama Turtle at this point. Although I think both runners know crab climb Everest, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
here's the juncture.
Yeah, I saw earlier Sloaters was practicing the Crystal Flash to get into Bot Wound. So I can immediately tell these guys aren't holding anything back. So we see Azder pass the Meridia too. Yep. And that might seal his fate here. Sad to say.
Yeah, now it's all about path length, and so I think we'll see Sloaters get into Meridia about 2 minutes before Azder, and the way both these runners have excellent movement, it's probably unlikely that lead will be relinquished. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because, I mean, it's why you play the games. Anything can happen. But yeah, this makes a lot of sense for Azder, thinking, okay, lower Norfair probably has my grappling beam. And Sloaters getting a little beaten up by these poor Kazans here in the spike room. They're not very nice in there, but he does have Various that reduces a lot of the damage they do.
Oh, I like that for Master to do a little wall jumping there.
Yeah, I liked the strat to freeze the Namahaze there, just because it was pretty free to do.
Alright, so Sloaters is going to see that wave beam. I assume he's going to pick it up. Actually, I don't know. Would you pick up the wave beam knowing it was just like right there? Is it really important to you? The players don't have charge.
With only 20 supers, yes. If I had something like 40 supers, I'd probably skip. Because with only 20 supers, it's likely that it's going to make sense for you to hunt out Charge Beam in Meridia somewhere. Because the amount of fanfares you'd need to pay just to, just to make up for the fact that you would have to spend the time to go get Wave Beam would be, I guess more than it's worth. Did Azder go over to check the GT area?
I believe he did not. He did not go down there.
Well then, that is a thing. That would be... He started to, but he changed his mind. I wonder what it could be that would have him change his mind there.
Yeah, like, and you think about it, he's already suffered the psychological blow here of, I had to leave the wreck ship, and then he went back
and then got Wave Beam. Like,
yeah, he got Wave Beam for his troubles, and then had to go come to the realization, oh, I have to go to the Gauntlet. The same thing has happened for Sloaters, but it's just come, a little bit more conveniently for him.
Yeah, and Azder did have that second power bomb pack really, really early, and so could have gone ahead and gone to Gauntlet early, like we were talking about that no one heard. But
yeah.
But that was one of the things that we talked about in that awesome commentary session that got cut out earlier. Nice double KO from Azder, by the way. And Sloaters now knows what's up, firing supers indiscriminately at all of the terrain, because it's Suitless Meridia time.
Okay, so just keep everyone updated. This is game 1 between Sloaters and Azder of the quarterfinal Super Metroid Item Randomizer League. So far, it looks like Sloaters has a pretty good lead right now. Azder has to fight Ridley here, and both players are going to be entering Meridia. And Sloaters is much closer to it than Azder right now, because Azder is fighting Ridley with these power bombs, trying to get some of these double hits. Looks like he's placing them appropriate heights. Ooh, okay. So nice entrance there for Sloaters. Gotta freeze the crab. Very nicely done. Okay, Azder being extra careful here. Really doesn't want to miss, because the players, they don't have Charge Beam. That was kind of risky there. He wants Ridley to pogo. Pogoing is the most ideal thing here. Okay. This is really scary. I'm kind of just holding my breath for Azder right now. Doesn't want to miss a shot. Okay, if Ridley just picks him up, he's good to go. And you're seeing some spring ball jumps there Sloaters just trying to navigate his way over to Mama Turtle. Needs to exit the water, and now he sees himself a grapple beam.
All right, so we got that gravity at Batwoon. It was that 50-50. It had to be one or the other, and I'm not shocked. Not one.
So we do have to address another thing. The players don't have charge beam, so well, what's the play here, Maniacal? Are they gonna start just searching all these miners and collecting like super missiles and missiles?
So there's Batwoon, which has to be gravity, and Sloaters knows this. There's Sandpit, there's Plasma, there's Dragon, and there's Shack Tool. And it's a pretty clean route to do those, and it doesn't lose as much time as fanfares plus hunting out the number of supers. So I expect in Sloater's ammo situation for him to be fully committed to finding Charge Beam at this point. Just because he only has 20 supers. If he had like 40 here, it could make a lot of sense to gamble on Chargeless. But here his ammo situation's so crappy, and there's so few major locations left that it just makes sense to hunt out Charge Beam, especially with already having Plasma Beam.
Nice little grapple jump there for Sloaters. Pretty textbook, in my opinion. Just
he does need to. He does need to not run out of ammo on Batwoon here, but does have a lot of extra missiles. So
that's true. Yeah.
He did farm that Metroid hoping for an extra super. Unfortunately, just got health.
This is interesting. Okay, he starts the fight using supers. Honestly, I would like just unload a lot of missiles early on, but difference in strategy, fine. He's just gotta navigate this hitbox that we love and adore on our friend Batwoon.
Something like that. You can see how good Batwoon's hitbox is, but I can see leading with supers just because you can guarantee that you're going to land your super shots. And looks like azder is headed in to Suitless Meridia now, and is employing primarily spring ball jumps. And we're going to see him use a spring ball jump plus ice to get over here to Mama Turtle easy. And there's that gravity suit, which is still not go mode, because we still need ammo or charge. And nice full halfie here from Sloaters, immediately taking advantage of the movement in water afforded by that gravity suit. And Azure is about to find out that, yep, it's just grapple, and gravity needs to be at Batwoon. And then charges somewhere in those last few major checks here in Meridia.
That was a little odd by Sloaters there. A little slow on the last.
Oof.
Shine Spark. His energy's pretty low there, but I'm not worried for him.
Yeah.
He knows the danger.
It's really hard to get a Spark suit with Spring Ball equipped. So that was pretty tricky. And nope, it's not Charge Beam, it's just an E-Tank. And yeah, Cheaty Face making a good point. Azder does not know what's at GT still. So it could be Gravity, but he'll be happy to find Gravity, but we'll have to see if that affects how he decides to route from here, what he does about ammo. Did Sloaters just get a Womple jump into a reverse halfie? Like, I feel like he had the Womple jump and was just like, nah, I'm just Shine Sparking.
Yeah.
And Azder is wisely going to go farm ammo before Botwoon because he does not otherwise have enough ammo to kill Botwoon.
Yeah. He doesn't have, he doesn't really have any choice, sadly.
Sloaters did not pick up that wave beam, so could not fire that shot to check, but just bombs here in the sand pit, which means Plasma or Shaq Tool has our charge beam. Where's it going to be, JD?
I think in my mind, it's probably over Plasma.
Yeah, Sloaters going Shaq Tool first.
Yeah, but like the way we do it, we're just gonna go check Tool because we're down here.
I mean, could also just as easily have gone up the toilet and come back down for the Shaq last. It's kind of a 50-50. They're both crappy things. That's why you don't really want to do either of them, but here's Shaq Tool. And let's see, I think the only other thing out there is an E-Tank, so it's an E-Tank at one and Charge Beam at the other. As Azder is pumping ammo into Botwoon, almost has him dead. Nice. That was a pretty good Botwoon, all things considered there. He's not even going to check. He's just going to go blind pull Shaq.
Yep.
Oh.
I mean, at this point, you just have to. Like, I mean, Azder didn't even check what the item was. The wreck ship, excuse me. The wave beam item. Just like, at this point, it's just like, this is a randomizer. And this is what the randomizer is going to do to the players. So it's just like, you just accept it and, move on.
Yeah, sometimes you just get randoed. Like, some seeds, you just aren't going to sub-hour. Like, it's just the way it goes. The good thing is that both runners can pretty much rest knowing that their opponent probably also had to check all of the places.
Yeah, this is hard to say because like it doesn't give me comfort in my mind, like that like I've had to do all this and just not knowing where the other players are.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have to do all this when the all this was items in really crappy spots than like it was an item in an easy spot that you ended up skipping. And as you're going for a fast grapple here, nice quick grapple kill there on Dragon. As Sloaters does confirm Charge Beam was at Plasma all along. So yeah, that's Now go mode for sloaters at only 56 minutes. Usually you want to be well into Torian or into the credits by this point, but not on this seed. No, sir. So we'll see how azder chooses to route this. The thing that makes the most sense is Sandpit first, because it's so bad if you end up missing the Sandpit, which is part of why some people choose to scout it. But then whether he goes up to Plasma or over to Shack, you know, that's a real decision. Alright, and as expected, azder going straight down to the Sandpit first. This is the one that just makes sense to check, and with Wave Beam, he's able to do that check a little faster. And what we want to see here is azder going up the toilet in the next room rather than going over to Shack Tool, but we'll see. Okay, looks like he is not going to get last locationed.
You see sloaters there farming some supers. Looks like he's going to skip the landing site refill. Just going to go straight into Torian.
Which, with 17 and 3, I'm kind of surprised. But odds are he'll hit the drops he needs. So.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he does have Charged Ice Plasma, which is a pretty good beam.
He just got last location, so, like, they're feeling the pressure, I think, you know.
Oh, for sure. Both these runners know how good their opponent is.
Right.
Oh my god,
there's a lot of respect here.
Plasma hitbox getting floaters good. And azder now with his charge beam, full beam for azder. And his ammo's looking a little better than sloaters, but yeah, I mean, that ship refill takes a good amount of time. But both runners looking promising to get sub 110, maybe a low 110 for azder on this seed, which honestly is a really good time given all the things that the runners have been through. And sloaters getting bad drops, so resorting to missiles now. And so we'll see if he can farm up some supers. Oh, he's back on supers now.
Yeah, I think he has plenty.
Yeah,
with the missiles.
Yeah, he has what he needs. So yeah, his missile count's good.
The missile count is going to be fine. Like, the supers are pretty much like icing on the cake, and how much extra you can get.
Exactly. There's no risk here because of that charge beam. And I don't know, I felt like this one was a slower seed, but both runners sloaters at Big Boy Room at only 30 seconds, and azder on his way to G4 also at 30 seconds. Oh. Real good pace. Looks like sloaters is setting up for a speed Zeb skip here.
Yeah.
and gets it
Without
first try.
without the wave beam. Going with a little fanciness there.
So without wave, I think it's 60 shots. I think these deal the same as a super, right? 600? Charge Ice Plasma?
Yeah, I actually really don't know, but because he has the plasma, it's much less than the amount of shots you have for excuse me, Ice Phaser and Wave.
Yeah, and already into the catch-up phase and through Mother Brain too, and setting up for stand-up glitch. And as long as Sloaters doesn't fire during the wrong time, he'll be good on stand-up at this point. As azder is into the big boy room, we'll probably get to see 2 baby Metroids on 2 screens, which is always kind of the hallmark of a good race. If baby Metroid is on both screens at the same time at the end of the game, we got to watch a good one.
Yeah, the both players they're gonna be doing the entirety of their set tonight. So game 2 and possibly game 3 coming at you after this. We'll see how Azder's gonna change things up, because his game plan didn't work out for him this time. He went early wreck ship, then left some items there, even though like those items weren't really the big things. It was the fact that he had to backtrack and remove that doubt from his mind.
Yeah, we'll see if he chooses to change his game plan at all, although I think, just knowing that it's rando, you know that some games your game plan's going to work and some it's not, so he may feel like he has the right game plan for this matchup and just this wasn't the seed for it, so we may see him pursue the same thing. It'll be interesting to see if it changes again, or if it changes or not between games. But Sloaters is into the escape, and I'll say we are going to see the entire set here played by these players, although we are going to change venues between games. So right now, we're hanging out and you're watching this on Speed Gaming 4, but we are going to see this switching over to Speed Gaming 1, or twitch.tv/speedgaming here in just a couple minutes. So get ready to change what channel you're watching, but Just Defend and I are going to move right along with you, and Sloaters and azder are going to get Game 2 and maybe Game 3 on Speed Gaming 1. And Sloaters with a fairly clean escape, getting some bad steam here, but into the landing site and hitting that ship, finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, 28 seconds. GG to Sloaters on taking down this first game. And welcome to azder's audio, holy gosh. Alright, that Mother Brain, that's loud. Yeah, it looks like azder this late in the seed is going to finish out the run, which is always good to see. And I'd say we could watch the credits to find out where all the items are, but we saw literally everything this seed except for minor locations. We could see the intended progression order that the seed wanted, where it wanted you to go in which order. That's something that's new in the credits with the variable speed randomizers.
Oh, that's cool.
So that'll be something to watch for on Sloater's side as we watch azder into the escape.
I mean, the chat is, the big know-it-all of how these seeds should be played. So we don't need to see that info anyway.
It's not about how it should be played, just how it was intended to be played. Yeah, 2.3 to 1.1 to 1.0 for item ratio. There just were not a lot of super missiles out there.
Wow.
And all we need is for azder to get through parlor here. Actually, some pretty nice lower parlor movement there on the escape. Really crisp.
Yeah, here's a different way of. I always see I always like how the players they do the parlors differently. Some like to go left, and some go through the middle, to the right. So when you have the high jump boost, it makes it a lot trickier. The early game.
Yeah, but GG to azder, who has finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, 40 seconds. And yeah, we are going to have game 2 coming ahead, or coming around very shortly. We are going to be moving venues, like I said, over to twitch.tv/speedgaming. But both runners sharing their thoughts with our lovely tracker Cheaty Face, who rolled this wonderful seed for them. They didn't like it that much, surprisingly. But Sloater's getting a nice 42%. Very calculated, very good. But yeah, that's going to wrap up Game 1 for us. GG to Sloater's taking a 1-0 lead in this match. We'll be back very soon. JD and I are going to hop out here for just a minute, and we will rejoin y'all over on Speed Gaming very shortly. Hopefully you choose to join us.
Yeah, see you guys over there.